Somebody was asking in the comments for an update on how the roof panels perform now we've got to the hot season. Well, let's have a look, shall we? So this is the temperature inside the house at the moment. Yeah, I think you can just about see that, 29.7. Now, what time is it? Let me just check the time. Okay, 29.7 inside, and it's 9:40. Let's see what happens to the temperature on the terrace. I'm just going to put the thermometer there and leave it for a few minutes and come back to it. Okay, so if I can get that into focus, there you go. So that's the temperature on the terrace, just a few degrees more. Now we'll see what the temperature is in full sun. And of course the full sun is what's going to be going on the roof. And I think I've actually mentioned this before in another video. Let's put this over here. I've mentioned this before in another video, I'm sure. I think I showed some temperatures in the video when I was doing the improvements to the wiring connections in the loft space, in the roof space. And I showed the 3 temperatures, and I'm going to show these again to you now. So we're finding the inside of the house quite warm in the warm season. It gradually heats up during the day, especially in the afternoon when the sun gets onto this wall along here. And there have been 2 or 3 nights when we have found it uncomfortable in the bedroom, and we've actually slept either outside in the living room or on the terrace itself. And that's because from a certain time in the afternoon, this area here and where the toilets are gets the sun, and we've got these thin basic building blocks, so it heats up like an oven really, and it stays warm for quite a long time. But to be frank with you, we're really over the worst of the heat now. We're starting to get into the rainy season, and it hasn't been half bad really. As I say, we've only had 1 or 2 nights we've been here when we felt uncomfortable and the fan wasn't sufficient. But there's a definite difference between the temperature of this wall here in the evening and this wall here. There's a definite warmer wall here. So if we really wanted to protect our house more from heating up, we would have to have some sort of roofing arrangement down this side, maybe a blind coming down we can pull down when it's sunny and wind up when it's bad weather or cloudy, or we have another bit of roofing coming down here, which goes to the edge of the parking area. But to be honest, I'm not sure it's worth it. The problem with putting an extra bit of roofing there is then you can't get at the existing guttering for cleaning it out, and we've got quite a few trees here and they do tend to get some leaves in them, these gutters, although most of them do blow down to the other end. But I don't really want to risk a problem and struggle to get up there. And I'm not that bothered about having air conditioning, because actually it's not that bad. I don't have air conditioning on all night, I can't stand that. So for the time we're here and the time that it's actually hot here enough to require air conditioning, I'm just not going to bother. I actually find that if we put the fan on at night, 99% of the time I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm either turning the fan off or I'm turning it right down to its minimum and changing the direction so it's not on us, because we tend to get colder as the night goes on. So I'm very happy with the insulation, and I think the roof insulation that we've got plays a large part in that, because It stops the rooms getting hot during the day from the sun from all day really, and it's just this wall down this side that heats the house up, and it doesn't even, the wall on the second bedroom doesn't get a great deal of sun. It gets a lot less sun actually because of the garage and the trees, and that room is actually very cool. So yeah, it's just unfortunate really that ours just gets a bit warmer. Right, let's go and have a look at the temperature we've got here in the sun. Can you see that? 39.3. So that's a significant difference. So we've got a 10 plus degree difference between what's hitting the roof and what's in the house. So I'm very pleased with that, and I can recommend these insulated panels as long as you get them with at least 2 centimeters of insulation. There are some caveats because every roof has its disadvantages. So for example, this tin roof is quite noisy, so you hear the rain. I don't mind that because it's when it's stormy. I like it being stormy, so I don't mind the rain. You also hear the pigeons running around early in the morning if you're awake. They don't wake us up, but if we are awake we can hear them clomping around, like there's a couple of elephants up there. What's the other disadvantage? I don't think there is one really. I think the roof actually cools down very, very quickly when the sun's off it because it's got no mass to it, so it doesn't retain any heat. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the disadvantages of a tiled roof are that it's rather like the wall we've got, in that once it's heated up, it stays hot for a long time. So you do need to make sure they're well insulated. The other disadvantage is that it's going to be more expensive, I think, to put it up, because this is my effort of cooking bread rolls today. Yeah, it's more expensive because you need more support up there, because tiles are very, very heavy. So they need a lot more support to keep them up there. They need to be fixed properly because in high winds they can come loose. I made some carrot and ginger soup yesterday as well, so that's what I'm having for my lunch. I'm having carrot and ginger soup and fresh bread rolls, and that's what Suntrae wants as well. Yeah, getting back to the tiles. Yes, they can come off in the wind. They can break if they're not put up correctly. You can have a few problems with water getting in. They're very much more vulnerable to water getting in because every tile has got 4 joints effectively which water can blow through, especially if there are cracks or splits in the tiles. Aesthetically, they're much better, of course, than a metal roof. You can have a lot of very interesting shapes, I think, on a tiled roof with great effect, which you don't get on a metal roof. But everyone's going to have their personal preferences. But what I would say is, if you're going to go for a metal roof, because it's very easy to fix, I have to say, very, very easy to fix. Do make sure you've got 2 inches of insulation. That's the 2 centimeters, I mean, of insulation. These roofs that come with just like a tiniest little skimmiest bit of insulation, which is silver coloured, absolutely useless. That stuff comes off after about 3 months. It blows off, it falls off. It doesn't give you any insulation value at all. So just don't bother with that sort of panel. They're a con. They really are a con. There we go. Well, 2 of the froggies are back. The 3rd frog isn't there anymore. yeah, so if I've put a video on and I've repeated myself, then I'm sorry. I'm sort of, to be honest with you, forgetting what I've done now, and some people obviously aren't picking up on all the information, so it's just as well to repeat it sometimes when you get requested. Anyway, have a good day, folks. I hope this has been of some benefit and not too boring. Okay, so it's raining reasonably heavily now. And there's a very slight sort of hissing noise coming from the roof. It's the best I can describe it as, really. It's a sss. The rolls are cooking now. We've got another 20 minutes. Right, so really not a very noisy roof unless it's a torrential storm, in which case you're going to get noise from all sorts of things anyway, like thunder and the rain hitting the trees. There, finished product. They're not bad for homemade. Now this is my afternoon today, editing videos on the computer, having a nice relaxing iced drink, some carrot and ginger soup with homemade bread, some nice views with thunder coming at us from the background. I think we're going to get a storm later. I hope we're going to get a storm later. It'd be nice to have a bit of damp in the air.